Okay, right, sure. You know, why not, right? I've tried to be as positive as possible. I really have. Like, we won a trophy. I wanted to live in that as long as possible, you know? And this summer, it's just been one punch after another. And every single time I'm like, no, 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 no. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. I'll get through it. We'll be all right. Like, the long term is more important, and getting it right. And as long as we get it right, it'll be fine. The short term problems will be worth it. And if you've watched the channel, you'll have seen the videos I've done talking about it. Even the other day, the one that Gio and Gonzo did, where they were discussing the issues at length and talking about the board and Sullivan and the transfer committee and all that stuff. And I was making the thumbnail for it. And even then, halfway through that video, I'm like, no, listen, if it works out, it works out. Right? And like, every day there's just a new thing. It's just a new thing where it's like, oh, that's bad, isn't it? That's pretty bad. Like, we had a minor scare earlier with the Lucas Paquetá thing in TalkSport, and Lucas Paquetá went, no, that's bollocks, right? Good, right? Maybe we won't have a bad thing today. If you haven't seen the news, friend of the channel, Fabrizio Romano, who originally brought us the fact that we might be signing Carlos Borges. It doesn't matter now. Was going to be joining West Ham. Tweeted earlier on today. Less than an hour ago. Exclusive. Ajax are set to hijack West Ham deal to sign Manchester City top talent Carlos Borges. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place. Player will be in Amsterdam for medical tests as soon as sources close to Ajax confirm. West Ham close, but Ajax hijacked the deal. David Sullivan's trending on Twitter. You know, like, what? I understand how it's difficult to get the Paulinia deals through, right? The big money deals, the ones where clubs are like holding out for way too much money, and, you know, agents' fees on top of that, and wages on top of that, and all these other things. And I understand for a club that don't have a lot of money, and for, you know, who are traditionally quite slow at moving, with the manager and the owner both being very particular. I understand how those sort of deals, those big ones, can take time and can take too long and can be very frustrating. I get that. We've lived with this for years and years and years. There are very few summers where we get anything done early. In fact, every time we get anything done early, everyone goes, oh my God, we got something done early. So I get that, right? That's not one of them though, is it? Really, if we're being honest about it, that's 14 mil. Like, that's a no-brainer. How has this taken so long? First of all, we get told that the hold up is that we were trying to negotiate this buyback clause that Manchester City want. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. That is what it is. Like, I understand the way they do business. Barcelona did business like this as well. I haven't got an issue with it. It would be guaranteed profit. It would be quite a bit of money. It's fine. It's kind of a win-win situation. I ain't got a problem with it, but I understand why that would sort of take time. Then we get told it's still taking long because he's on holiday, because he was involved in internationals and that. So he was away for longer, and like, okay, fine, okay, all right, fine. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And then, like, straight after that, actually, he's on his way to Amsterdam, lovely place, been there this time of year, was quite hot, but it is a lovely place, to do medical tests. So clearly, he was around. like I've seen people mooting maybe it was agents' fees that were holding it up and all these other things. And again, I understand how this summer specifically it's going to be a big problem with agents' fees for us, and how I don't seem to understand how much players are worth anymore. Like, Conor Gallagher's 50 million apparently, or whatever. Like I clearly do not understand that side of it. Fine. What can you do? What can you do? Even me, who has tried to look on the good side, tried to look on the bright side, and stay sunny and stay positive. Even me. It's a mess, man. Not to quote David Sullivan himself, but it's a mess. How can you fail that? How can you mess this one up? I can't get my head up. How do you mess this one up? How? We've had a clear run at it. We've From his perspective, I get it. Sorry, I'm processing this as we go. I apologize. I understand from his perspective. He would probably prefer to go to Ajax. I get that. Club that have a better track record of bringing through players. They've literally done it non-stop for decades. Playing in Champions League, you know, good club, like bigger club in West Ham. No, like obviously, I don't want to say that, but it's true. Like they're Ajax, they're one of the most legendary clubs in world football. I understand, but we had a clear run at this for weeks. And even if he was away, which fair enough, I don't really have an issue with it. The same way I don't have an issue with Mikel Antonio being away at the moment or whatever else, Ben Johnson. He clearly was available if the deal was done, but the deal was just never done. The deal was just never done. And I sit here, again, as someone who is trying their hardest to remain positive, and I'm thinking to myself, look, it will be okay, Charlie. It will be all right. We'll get there. We'll sign someone. It will happen. And conversely, listening to that video that Jay and Gonzo did, I'll put it at the end of this video if you want to go watch it. I'll put it at the end. Like, I agree with what Gonzo said. I'm not necessarily scared about relegation. I'm not. I'm just so dejected and disheartened. Like, this was such a golden opportunity. Last night was the first time I really started to feel it, because I tweeted when Declan Rice left. When Declan Rice left, I was like, this is a huge opportunity for us that just does not come around often for clubs like West Ham, to get that much money in, to really genuinely improve the team, to really push ourselves and to go forward. And I'm not saying to challenge for Europe again next year. All of these sort of like vague next level, top tier goals, whatever you want to call them, are difficult now. Newcastle have a lot of money. It's no longer a top 6, it's a top 7. Breaking into European places is going to become an increasingly more impossible thing to do. I get it. I'm not sitting here thinking that those things are possible. But actually, letting go of Declan Rice was such a good opportunity to go and get a replacement for him. Maybe improve the rest of the midfield. Maybe you swap out Thomas Souček for someone. You still have a lot of money left over. Maybe you go and get a left winger. Maybe you get a left back. Maybe you get a right back. Maybe you do all these different little things that could have potentially done so many good things for us. And that opportunity's gone. It's gone. And maybe it isn't. Maybe by the end of this window, we'll all have egg on our face and we'll go, oh, actually, it worked out in the end. We did quite well. I wish we did it sooner. But like, Gio spoke about it on the video. When was it? Is it yesterday's one? I don't know. Time's a mess. I don't remember. Talking about the idea of like, well, going for James Ward-Prowse seems like just capitalising on a situation as opposed to having a plan and executing it. And I'm just like, West Ham, I tried. I give up. I gave it a shot. I gave it my best to be positive. And it's just impossible. It's just impossible, isn't it? Oh well, Carlos Borges seems to be off to Ajax. Listen, maybe he doesn't. Maybe we pull something out of the hat last second, but seems to be another one gone. Like the video, subscribe. I guess. Who cares? See you at some other point in time when no one will have signed and everything will still be a mess. See you later, everyone. Bye.